Sports Dynasty Podcast, NBA edition. It's Raul again, and I'm here with Alex.
Hello, everybody.
All right, let's get right into it. There is something it's been really bothering me, and from the New York area, so I guess I feel more disrespect towards this sequence of events. So recently, probably like last night, Patrick Ewing had difficulties entering the garden. Yeah, Patrick Ewing.
Number 33 in the Raptors up there.
The literal GOAT of the New York Knicks. He is the garden. How is the security team giving a hard time for Patrick Ewing, who literally made your franchise?
Patrick Ewing has been quoted as saying this: "I thought this was my building. I'm getting stopped, ask for passes. Everyone should know who the hell I am. I'm going to call Mr. Dolan and say, is my number in the Raptors or what?"
The fact that he has to even do that, James Dolan is truly, he's just evil, bro. Like, I don't understand, man.
Well, I don't understand also, I'm going to go to, like, the security on a bit, right? It's like, who do you know that looks like Patrick Ewing?
There is no one. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure when you're heading into work, you're seeing posters of this man over and over and over and over again. How you work in the garden and don't know who's Patrick Ewing?
Like, this is arguably the greatest Knick of all time. Most people will say he's the greatest Knick of all time. You can argue with him, Clyde Frazier.
Right? Is he a top 10 center of all time?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a top 10. This is an all-time great. Are you kidding me? He is the Knicks.
Like, the last time the Knicks were consistently good, he was the main centerpiece of their success.
Yeah, he's arguably the greatest thing that happened. I understand they got that championship team with Debussy and Phil Jackson was up in there, but everyone really remembers that 90s team, and they were so good.
They made the finals twice at the end of the day.
Yeah, he made the finals with an 8th seed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, dude. Patrick, he does not deserve this. But he's not the only one. It's Patrick Ewing. It's Charles Oakley. And Spike Lee. Did Spike Lee and Charles Oakley happen last year?
No, Charles Oakley happened around 2016-ish.
Okay.
2016,
wow, was it really that long ago?
Yeah, that's when the Charles Oakley incident happened. When he got
arrested. And Spike was last year, right?
Yeah, before the whole virus situation happened.
Come on, man. Especially with the Spike and Ewing. These dudes are like the pillars of your franchise. How could this happen?
Spike Lee has been sitting in that seat, right? That same exact seat for around at least 40 years.
Yeah, come on, man. He's the number one fan. Like, how you don't know who Spike Lee? How you giving him problems? How you giving Patrick Ewing problems? That's like if... Could you imagine if MJ came to the Bulls arena and the security is giving him problems to entering the building?
Or better yet, imagine if Magic Johnson... Mind you, he also was GM for the Lakers for like 2 years. Imagine if Magic Johnson pulling up to the Staples Center and asking him for passes or ID. Like, if you don't know who Magic Johnson is.
It's a disgrace. It is a disgrace. It's a disservice to Patrick Ewing. If I was Patrick Ewing, I wouldn't even come to any more games until Dolan is out.
Dolan needs to sell the team years ago. He's the reason why the Knicks has been so stagnant for a very, very long time.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. But speaking of other New York teams, the Brooklyn Nets recently acquired Blake Griffin from the Detroit Pistons, bought him out. And I guess it was a race between a couple teams, right? It was Brooklyn. I think Golden State was in there.
I think Golden State was
LA, the Lakers.
The Lakers had interested in me as well, yeah.
I think the Clippers was there too, right?
I actually don't know about the Clippers. It's possible, but I don't know.
And ultimately, he decided to go to the Brooklyn Nets. Now, it's been about 24 hours since this happened, and I'm really trying to think of his addition. Now, okay, one, obviously, he spreads the floor, and that's always good in today's game, especially with the players that they have. They got 3 isolation players. But the problem with this team was defensive rebounding and rim protection. And he doesn't really add any of that. Also, he's not really a healthy player ever since what was it, 2 years ago when he blew out his knee to carrying Detroit to an 8th seed.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, he was never really a healthy player ever since that one MVP type season he had back in the Clippers when they were a 3 seed back in 2014 when Durant won the MVP award.
Right.
That was the last time he was really healthy. He's always been injured except that the one year that was an anomaly was the year when he dragged Detroit to the 8th seed and made All NBA 13. But after that, injuries continued to happen, and now he got bought out, and he looks like he fell off a cliff.
He sure does.
It's also very possible that he was going through emotions because he was part of a rebuilding Detroit Pistons team, and let's be real, even at his peak, their ceiling is a 12th seed, if even that. So I could kind of feel him kind of going through the motions and wanting to go to a contender, and then him balling out there. What's unfortunate for him is his athleticism is shot.
Completely gone.
Because of those injuries. So
he did develop into a skilled player. He is a fundamentally sound player now. He is. But again, he has a couple isolated possessions. I don't know how that works well with a big in that team.
Honestly, because again, he can space the floor, so he can just stand at do pick and pop situations and then get the open 3 and hit it. So I think he has a place for this team, but it's possible that they may ask him to do too much, and he doesn't really meet those expectations because, well, you're asking him to do a lot, like if he's still in the Clippers or early Detroit days when it's simple, he's just not that anymore. At most, he's a fringe starter or a solid backup nowadays.
Right. It'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of people that believe that his production will be equivalent to Jeff Green. And I was thinking, that could be right. Maybe he's a little better, or maybe Jeff Green will contribute more. But ultimately, he's kind of a role player now. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you play your role the right way, then you're all good. But I think everyone's kind of thinking of this move like it's the old Blake Griffin. I highly doubt it. Now, what Alex said was a good point. Maybe he was just unmotivated. Okay, that could be possible, but I highly doubt it. I don't think he's the same athletic-wise, dominating-wise. I don't think he's the same player.
One more point I want to make about this Brooklyn Nets team is that, usually when they have a ridiculous amount of mouths to feed, it usually doesn't end well, right?
We've seen that happen before.
We've seen that happen time and time again. The only team that you could say it didn't happen to was Golden State, but that's because everyone knew their role and the style of basketball they played was unmatched. It was art.
Yeah, it was one of the greatest teams of all time, if not the greatest team of all time. But I know this is totally different. What I'm saying is, look at the 04 Lakers.
Look at the 13 Lakers.
Yeah, sometimes going overboard and just trying to get all this star power, it can backfire. It can. But speaking of acquisitions, if a team that needs an acquisition, it is most definitely the New Orleans Pelicans.
Last night, the New Orleans Pelicans got absolutely destroyed by the now 8-win Minnesota Timberwolves. As they finally got more wins than the Minnesota Vikings of this past season. And they got destroyed. You would think Karl-Anthony Towns had a big game. No, he only had 19 points and didn't shoot all that well. The number 1 overall pick, Anthony Edwards, was second in scoring with 27 points. Jalen Noel, second-year player, got 28 points. And Jaden McDaniels, another draft pick for this season for the Timberwolves, had 20. Both shot really efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're New Orleans, you got to look at this. They shot 6 for 32 from the three-point line.
That is so bad.
And I have to ask Stan Van Gundy this, as well as David Griffin. Start with David Griffin. Like in the long term, Zion and Brandon Ingram are your two.
Right, of course.
But you want to still set your team up for success in the short term. So, why are you bringing in people who do the opposite of spacing the floor if anything, they shrink it when your star player scores in the paint.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it, bro.
Which makes Zion Williamson's All-Star season that much more impressive, by the way.
It really does.
That with all those floor streakers, he still averaged 25 points per game with fantastic efficiency.
Yeah, because the defensive scheme for that team must be very, very easy. Yet he flourishes. It just goes to show how good he is.
Like, I guess I think the best way you could say to beat Zion is just take charges and try to draw those type of fouls.
Right, and do your best to give him space, even though he charges like a bull, man. You know, you're paying a price if you're trying to draw that charge, kind of like, you know, LeBron. But I don't know what David Griffin doing in this one. Bledsoe needs to go. He needs to go, like right now. And I'm sure he has trade value because he is still a great defender. He can still take it to the rack. There are certain teams that can use him. But the dude needs to go, and JJ Redick, I don't know how can he not be used in a basketball team?
I don't know
how,
but
it's easy. You run plays for him, you run screens for him. He could shoot off the pick, off balance. He's one of the best players to have in. He could literally play in any setting.
Exactly, a player like JJ Redick can fit in every single team he goes to, but you're struggling to get him involved in your offense. You're having Lonzo Ball shoot 9 threes, which he had one of those games where Lonzo Ball shot very poorly and went 3 for 9 from 3.
Yep.
As he's prone to do. Eric Bledsoe shooting like 7 threes, 8 threes, and didn't make any of them. Went 1 for 9 on the field that day. Also have a huge issue with this. Why is Zion Williamson taking 13 shots?
He should take more than that.
Just going to Stan Van Gundy. Why is he taking 13 shots? Brandon Ingram last night only took 14 shots as well.
That is ridiculous. Those two should be, without question, the bulk of the team shots. Unless you're running plays for JJ Redick, and he's getting open shooting threes, which you're not doing. So I don't get it. There's a problem. And the reason why we're really on this is because we see how good this team can be, and it should be better than this. They should actually be a playoff team. If you change this team around, it should be a playoff team.
They should be in the situation where the Memphis Grizzlies are in. Look at them.
Look at the Grizzlies, exactly. Really good.
Taylor Jenkins doing a great job with this group. Everyone on that team knows their role, plays great team basketball, and they win games because of it. I think they're in the play. I think they're 9th seed right now. I think they're ahead of Golden State now. Golden State's 10th.
You know what will be good? Okay, if they could somehow get like Eric Gordon. Because Houston, I feel like that whole team is just going to break up. Yeah. Probably just leave John Wall there, obviously because of the contract.
John Wall and Christian Wood.
But let's say you get Eric Gordon. Mm-hmm. You spread the floor, easily spread the floor, and you get scoring inside. Now, let's say they get a player like Dario Saric kind of guy, a stretch 4.
Yeah,
that could help Lonzo Ball, and he could play pick and pop. Or they could try to get Kevin Love.
Kevin Love is on the trade market. I don't know if he's gonna play another game for the Cavaliers. I think
I don't think so. I think he's gonna be out of there, man.
But pretty much what he brings to Cleveland at this point is just mentorship. At this point, pretty much another coach for them. That's pretty much what Kevin Love brings to the Cavaliers. So trading for Kevin Love isn't really stupid.
I think it could happen. This is an easy fixed. This is 1, 2, 3 moves. You trade a pick or two, and you're good.
Especially since you got a lot of them from Milwaukee because of the Drew Holiday trade. You taking Eric Bledsoe and getting 3 first-round picks along with it.
And I could already tell Zion's a year away from MVP level. You could just see it. He's that good. He's a year or 2 away from being an MVP level caliber player. And Brandon Ingram, he is a bucket, man. He's really elevated his game. And Lonzo Ball's been improving too. It's looking like he could, now you have to worry about him shooting a 3 because he could kind of knock it down. So this is an easy fix, man. And they give Josh Hart more minutes, man.
Yeah, he's a really good role player.
He's very underrated. But the Pelicans is a team that need acquisitions, or they could use LaMarcus Aldridge, who's also going to be a free agent soon, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. LaMarcus Aldridge recently parted ways with the San Antonio Spurs, because San Antonio doesn't seem in his future plans, which I do understand because at this point, you have a bunch of young guys, I'm about to say slow, and I feel like the one vet you use is Rudy Gay and DeMar DeRozan. Now, LaMarcus Aldridge, I feel like the best place he should go, have a reunion back in Portland.
That could work. That could work because that's a team that uses. There's a couple teams in the league that uses size with bigs, no matter what, and that's definitely one of them. They used Nurkic. They love using Cantor, especially on those really kind of shootout kind of games. They love using Cantor. They used Whiteside last year, so this is a team that could use bigs, and I see him fitting perfectly in that team. Another team is a team where it revolves around a point guard who could play through the pick and roll. So, for example, a player like Chris Paul, maybe a player like LeBron, I'm not saying he should go to those teams, but I'm saying he should play with point guards of that archetype.
Yeah, well, yeah, because at his best, he played with point guards like Andre Miller when he was young. Even Dame got on the ball when he first got there.
Because he's pick and pop, pure pick and pop. He gets a couple low post possessions off the midi. Now his tenure in San Antonio wasn't that bad. It's just that, I mean, you're going in supposed to fill in what, Tim Duncan's shoes? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Plus that whole Kawhi thing messed up everything for that team.
Yeah, pretty much what he signed there to be a number 2 to Kawhi Leonard,
and he ended up having to be the number 1.
Exactly, so, number 1, and DeRozan be the number 2. Which DeMar DeRozan is nice. We all know DeMar DeRozan is a really good player, but he ain't no Kawhi Leonard at the end of the day.
Right. So Aldridge, I've always liked Aldridge. I've always liked his game because I'm a big fan of big man playing in the post, playing with their back to the basket. The mid-range game too, which is like so close to being extinct in this game. But yeah, he could still make some impact in a contender. I think he can.
Speaking of someone else who can make an impact for a contender, Andre Drummond as well is looking either going to get bought out or traded. More than likely bought out because no one's taking on that contract. Let's be real.
Yeah, he's going to get bought out for sure.
Let's be real here. So, my co-host over here says that the Los Angeles Lakers should sign Andre Drummond.
I'm a fan of the Lakers getting Drummond. He's not a fan of it, which is kind of cool here because we get two different opinions in this episode, which is actually a good thing. So.
Here's my opinion on it, and especially with one of the quotes I saw yesterday is it just amplifies it. So the Los Angeles Lakers are looking to get another big man because the Marc Gasol thing has not gone the way they hoped. But my thing is, what did you expect to happen?
That is true.
When you cannot say you did not see any part of that playoff series when Boston played Toronto, he was unplayable in that series.
He truly was, and he's just the dude is like a penguin. Not a penguin. The dude is like a turtle. He's a turtle.
He's a sloth.
He's a sloth.
He can't move. He's too slow. So
now I know the way they described it with Marc Gasol sounds like he's a failure, but he's not. Because I've been watching the Lakers games, and he plays good in the high post, and he's a great passer. So, while he can't contribute to the team, I think it's still needed, but I think he needs to be a rotational big. Now, this is where Andre Drummond comes in. Now, I do understand that he's considered a slow player, but he's way faster than Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol is literally one of the slowest players in the entire league.
I was about to say, everyone's faster than Marc Gasol. I think we faster than Marc Gasol, bro.
We probably are faster than Marc Gasol, but... Okay, so here's how. This is the vision that I have with Andre Drummond and the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, if you remember last year's team, which I always rave about, I love last year's Los Angeles Lakers. And here's why. While everyone kind of fell into the small ball line, running small, running forwards at center, the Lakers stood stubborn about it and said, we're running bigs. We're running AD, we're running Dwight, and we're running JaVale. And some situations, JaVale will have to get out, but you're still running Dwight. Now, that's still two big guys. That's rebounds, that's contest, that's defense. Now, I understand Andre Drummond is not the best defender, but alongside Anthony Davis, I think he will kind of make it very easy. That is still two very big guys. And the biggest thing there is pick and roll with LeBron James and Dennis Schroeder. If you watch the Lakers, Dennis Schroeder is so pivotal to that team, more than I ever thought he would be. He goes through the pick and roll and picks up off the midi. That's his thing. He will slash off the pick and roll. Now, if you got Andre Drummond there, remember, you throw that ball up, he's going to get it. That's usually how he scores his points. Even though he's kind of changed it a little bit this year from the little that I saw from his game. But nonetheless, he's going to crash those boards, get offensive rebounds, get putbacks. It's going to be hard to guard the pick and roll with LeBron and Schroeder, with Drummond there and AD stretching from the wing.
Listen, I understand Drummond is one of the best rebounders that you could arguably in history, one
True.
of the best rebounders ever, but I know how good of a defender he is, and it's not good. He's not a good defender. He's gotten a little better in the playmaking aspect, which from what I saw in his tenure in Cleveland from this season. But again, who's the favorite in the East? It's looking like it might be Philadelphia, right?
Here we go. I know what's going to happen here.
I know the track record when it comes to Andre Drummond playing Joel Embiid, and Frank Vogel is more like gonna start Drummond because again Marc Gasol isn't what they hoped, because apparently we thought he was getting 2013 Marc Gasol.
I don't know why. If anyone from the Lakers organization thought that, they need to get fired.
Honestly, but when that happened, Joel Embiid had full real estate and Andre Drummond's head. So
there is no way AD allows that to happen, man. Joel is unstoppable. He will get his, but there's no way he's gonna guard him every possession.
I'm about to say Anthony Davis needs to be on him at all times, and Andre Drummond cannot play in that series unless he's sitting down.
Cannot play in the series.
He cannot play in that series unless he's sitting down. Because again, I know the track record. Unless he gotten stronger mentally, which if he has, then by all means, come right ahead. Go right ahead. But
you never know that LeBron James influence. That's what it does to you.
It also has two. It has two ways.
It does have two ways.
It has two ways.
It sure does.
You don't need to remind you of the 2018 Cleveland Cavaliers. But enough.
It could go really bad. It could go really good. But I think what we could agree on is that the Lakers need another body in terms of a big.
Yeah, they do.
Doesn't necessarily have to be Drummond. It could be someone else. But that team is at its best when it overpowers you with his bigs, with his rebounds, with his shot contests.
Bully ball.
Bully ball.
Then they bully ball.
It's a bully ball basketball team. And they won the championship doing it. And that's what I can see what they're missing. Again, no slander to Marc Gasol. What he brings to the table, again, is pivotal.
Or Montrezl Harrell also.
Montrezl is great.
He's just too small.
But it doesn't change the fact that he's undersized. I feel like Montrezl Harrell is being asked too much in terms of being a big. Remember, he's what, the third leading scorer in the team? Or is he the second leading scorer?
I think he's third.
He's the third leading scorer in the team. Now, you cannot be asking Montrezl Harrell to be getting defensive stops, to be getting offensive boards, and to be scoring 18 to 20 points a game. That's what the Clipper asked for him, and you saw the results.
And we laughed at them.
You know what I'm saying? The Lakers need another big. They do.
I'll say this much, though. With our team, as long as our team is fully healthy come playoff time, he's not going to be asked to do anywhere near as much in the scoring aspect.
That's true.
We'll have Dennis Schroeder, Anthony Davis back.
Yeah, all that has ended with AD, but I really would like to see one more transitional big in that team, because I could see, for example, they play Portland, Marc Gasol's in the court, pick and roll, switch off Marc Gasol, Damian Lillard, bang, 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 bang. Even if you're playing, like, let's say the Warriors, I know everyone say, oh, yeah, they'll whip their ass, but still, Steph Curry, switch off the pick and roll, Marc Gasol, he's too slow, that's threes all day.
And if we do play Phoenix later on down the line, Chris Paul
will destroy that. He's probably the worst person in the league to have a slow big against. He will see it.
But Frank Vogel's smart. He gonna do what it does. He apparently has to revive his reputation because people didn't understand why we hired him to begin with.
People are saying that. Wow.
People are saying that why we didn't hire him at the time when we hired Frank Vogel. Which
I knew right away when they hired Frank Vogel. I said yes. Don't you guys remember that Indiana Pacers team who almost eliminated the Miami Heat with what people like to say peak LeBron? He went 7 with them. That had a lot to do with the coaching, with his coaching mentality. He loves defense. When he came to the Lakers last year, it's all been about defense. And this Lakers team, I believe, is a top 5 defensive team.
Yeah, they are.
That's Frank Vogel. He's a defensive-minded coach.
It's because of his stint in Orlando in between those
Oh,
starts.
of course. What you gonna do in Orlando, man? You kidding me? You kidding me? But there's another free agent out there. I believe he's getting bought out soon. That's called PJ Tucker. So he could play defense, and he could stretch the floor from the corner.
He could hit the corner 3, yeah.
He could hit the corner 3. So there's a couple teams that could use him.
Boston, get on that right now. Like
Boston needs to get him now.
Y'all could use a player like him. I could get another bull on defense.
Whew, PJ Tucker and Marcus Smart.
But
Woo, that's 2 bulls.
and you could actually have a big who could space the floor more reliable than Tice can.
That would be really well. That would work really well. So Boston should get on that. Now I wonder. I know PJ Tucker wants to win a championship, so I know he's gonna go to contenders.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure because I could kind of see the way Brooklyn is moving, where they want to snatch anything.
Yeah, the way they're moving, I could see them getting him as well.
I could see them getting him. I could see
the 76ers can
yes,
get him.
I was just about to say
can get
Philly. Philly, that would be a great pickup for Philly. Anything that will result in spreading the floor and playing defense for the Philadelphia 76ers is a plus, especially to help Ben Simmons with his weaknesses.
Yeah, he fits their team perfectly,
He fits them perfectly. Stand in that corner, Ben Simmons slashes, they run rotations, he shoots a corner 3, he crashes offensive board. The dude plays off hustle points, man. And I could always respect that. You know what I'm saying? And he always tries on defense. So his decision, I think, could impact the playoffs. Possibly.
Yeah, it's a playoff sign at the end of the day. And one more team that can use him that I also want to get into later, Phoenix. I think Phoenix can also use him. And let's talk about Phoenix real quick.
Speaking of Phoenix, oh God, that is a basketball team.
They are the number 2 seed in the West, only behind the Utah Jazz. They are the only team who are top 7 on offense and defense.
Unreal.
And credit goes to one, Chris Paul, who is a potential MVP candidate with how he revolutionized this team, and also Monty Williams.
Monty Williams, wow, very underrated coach.
The front office finally got it right.
Finally, it took so long. But I'm gonna talk about Chris Paul for a second.
Go ahead.
This dude is unbelievable. He is without question a bare minimum top 5 point guard of all time, championship or not. It is amazing. I call this the LeBron effect, right? Where no matter any team this player goes to, they are a contending team. Or at the least relevant and will make the playoffs. He did it in New Orleans. He did it in the Clippers. Oh my gosh, when they were so bad. He revived not revived, he made them relevant. And every year, everyone talked about them winning the championship. That's because of how good Chris Paul is. He goes to the Rockets. That was a championship team. That's one of the best. That's arguably one of the best teams to not win a championship.
They were a game away.
They were a game away from a finals appearance. That's how good Chris Paul is. He goes to OKC. Everyone thought that was a lottery team. And he brought them to they won like 50 plus games.
I think they would have if they had the full 82 game season.
If they had the full, he brought them to the playoffs, and they were a possession away from advancing a round in the playoffs. Then he goes to the Suns, man. They didn't make the playoffs last year. They haven't made the playoffs. I don't know since when, 2008.
Since when Steve Nash and Stoudemire was there.
I think that was like 2008.
2010 when they
2010
when Kobe daggered them at Game 6 in Wisconsin Finals.
He comes in here. They are contending they're a contending team. They're too good. They are a championship level team. this dude, and mind you, this dude is 6 feet tall. That has to come into consideration that this is a 6-foot guard doing this. He's remarkable.
You gotta give credit to those role players too. One of my favorite players in this league, honestly, is Mikal Bridges.
He's really good. He's in my fantasy team. Thank you.
Fantastic. Probably the best 3-and-D player in the league, honestly. Really good. Kaminsky plays his role very well in that Suns team. Remember that bust that Charlotte drafted?
He does play well. I've watched a couple of their games.
And also, another pickup they had last year. I remember this trade at the time when they traded with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves traded Dario Saric and the number 11 pick for the number 6 pick.
I've always been a fan of him. I always loved his game.
Dario Saric did not play well in Minnesota, but it's Minnesota. So, yeah. And the Phoenix Suns got Cameron Johnson out of that and Dario Saric. Cameron Johnson is a really good role player for them. Great 3-point shooter and gives effort on defense. And Dario Saric, you already know how the European bigs do it. Very, very skilled players. And coming off the bench, I've heard that when Chris Paul and Dario Saric are together, they're one of the best duos in the league.
Wow, that's amazing. I could believe it because Dario Saric, again, he could pick and pop. He could sort of dribble the ball. He could kind of drive a little bit and finish. Like you said, these European players, man, they are so skilled. It's amazing to watch. And yeah, the Phoenix Suns is a great team. There's a lot of good teams, especially probably the hottest team in the league, the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, I can't go another day. I can't go another episode without talking about these guys after I saw what they did against Boston. Man, Kyrie, he's playing phenomenal this year. He really, it's kind of funny. You kind of forget how good this guy is.
Yeah, you do, because he makes you forget how good he is.
Yeah, after all this drama, all these things happening, when you go and you watch this dude play, he has a beautiful game, man. It's just, he is unstoppable. He could go left, he could go right, he could dribble with both hands, he could pull up in either side of the ball, he could finish with his left, finish with his right, he could go under the rim, he could shoot fadeaways, he could shoot threes, he could score any way possible. And I'll be honest, I've been watching this team lately. This team they are dangerous. Now, I would love to see this team play Philly. I would love to see them play a big. That's kind of my concern with this team, but I have to admit this team looks pretty scary.
Honestly, if they play Philadelphia, it's too bad matchup for them. I think them and Milwaukee are really bad matches for them because
it could be
of the length. I think they could maybe beat Milwaukee though.
You see what they with Milwaukee too? I could see Giannis utterly destroying them.
Yeah,
I could see him dropping like 50 on them.
That's because who's really gonna stop them?
I don't know, because your problem is with Joel, it's kind of like the physique where in the low post, he's so quick but so strong, and he's gonna kind of bully everyone. And then Giannis is kind of like he's just in the transition. He's gonna just annihilate everything in sight.
Yeah, he's a freight train.
He's a freight train.
The Nets don't have a Toronto Raptors type scheme where they could have like Gasol or Siakam.
They can't run zone.
And
they can't run zone.
Make put a wall on Giannis, and Miami, they don't got a Bam Adebayo. And to make a wall around.
Yeah, who exactly do you put? Because, okay, you see, Miami could get away with putting Adebayo on Giannis just because he's so agile. And Joel could do it because he's also big but also so long at the same time. DeAndre's too slow. And Giannis' wingspan, he's just longer than him. So he can finish over him. I would love to see a KD versus Giannis matchup, but I can't see KD containing Giannis. I can't. I could be wrong, but I just can't see.
Giannis is too strong.
He's too strong.
Giannis is too strong.
He's like, his body length is like Durant, but Giannis is kind of like Durant and he's buff.
Well, as I'm about to say, if Coach Bud was smart, this would be an easy series for the Bucks. But Coach Bud is too stubborn, so
it might get harder than usual. But the thing is, I can see whatever Kyrie gives, I can see Jrue Holiday giving it right back.
Yeah, and about to say, he's not gonna have an easy time. Both him and Harden aren't gonna have easy times. Harden is one of the best scorers in this league. not just league in his history of the game. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
DiVincenzo and Jrue Holiday, they'll give them problems.
They're irritants, and especially on offense, they're going to give him buckets. So like you said, Philly and Milwaukee are bad matchups for the Brooklyn Nets.
But if it comes to a team that relies heavily on offense, you're going to lose because you're not outscoring this team.
Not at all. And also Seth Curry cancels out Joe Harris too.
He does.
If not, I think he's better than him. But I'm just saying that whatever Joe Harris gives, Seth Curry could give it right back and more.
Yes, Seth Curry is. Yeah, at least to me, it's kind of clear he is better than Joe Harris.
He is. No, he is better.
I'm pretty sure
he's better than him. For sure, he's better than him. So,
and how are they gonna stop Ben Simmons?
Oh, that's another thing too. Ben Simmons could literally just go coast to coast. Whatever Giannis could do, Ben Simmons doing the same thing. But what could probably make it worse is that Ben Simmons is a ball handler. He's a really good ball handler and facilitator, so he could literally just pick apart.
Also, what doesn't help is whoever Ben Simmons is on, they're pretty much out for the series.
That too. Ben Simmons is probably the best defender in the league. He's that good.
Like he will put you in prison, and you will not do anything.
You're pretty much locked in an island with him. He's that good. He could probably win Defensive Player of the Year because no one scores on him. He locks up whoever he guards.
Yeah, Brooklyn got a lot of star power, but at the end of the day, they do have their problems. At the end of the day, they're not invincible. As much as some people would like to put that in your head, they're not invincible.
Oh, they're definitely not invincible. What I would say is they are a good basketball team, and they could run you out the gym. They could. And I think it depends on how the seeding goes. But it's going to be tough because another team that could possibly beat them, but I think they'll edge them out, is Miami because of KD.
That'll be interesting. I think KD will be too much for them.
Yeah, KD might be too much for them.
That'll be interesting, though.
But that'll be an interesting series. Now, what I'm saying is Brooklyn is a scary team, but I'm also saying don't jump the gun yet. Because remember, Miami is coming. Milwaukee's still there in terms of matchup. And Philly's a good team this year. It took a while, but they are a good team this year. The pieces is right. And Joel Embiid is insane, man. He is unstoppable. It literally looks like I'm watching Shaquille O'Neal play. He's evolved that much. But the East is exciting.
The East is exciting. Like it's top heavy. It's exciting. But every team has a bad matchup for them. Because Philadelphia, they're not invincible either. If they play the Raptors, that is a really, really scary matchup for them. Toronto could take them out.
That's true. Toronto will be a bad matchup for Philly. It's amazing, man. That's just the game, man. That's just the game. At the end of the day, it's all about matchups. That's why I truly believe in seedings that teams lose games to avoid an outcome of playing a team that they can't beat. Because it is about, at the end of the day, it's about matchups, man.
That's also why I called last season, go my archives a bit, when I called Miami beating the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 last year because of the fact that Giannis is going to struggle a lot against that Miami Heat defense. That's exactly what happened.
I had that series. I had Miami in 6. He said 5, and he was real confident about that. I'll give him full credit for that. I still picked Miami in 6, but he said 5. And they almost got swept. So I should have
been wrong. Actually, it should have been a sweep, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about another team. Let's talk about a disappointing team that we talked about last episode. The Atlanta Hawks, who are 3-0 under Nate McMillan.
Hawks fans, he's bullying you.
And after a come from behind victory over the Toronto Raptors after Tony Snell called game on them.
Tony Snell!
Because Toronto's defense collapsed and he was wide open and game over. Now, Hawks fans, if you're excited, I'm going to tell you right now, don't be, and I'm going to explain to you why. Let's pump the brakes real quick. You're 3-0 under Nate McMillan. Congratulations, but let me tell you the teams you beat. You've beaten the Miami Heat with no Jimmy Butler. So, not really the most impressive win there.
You know what's funny? That might be their most impressive win, though.
It is. That's the sad part. It is. The team play after that was Orlando. Without everybody except Vucevic, y'all were down the whole entire game. They just came back and won. Against them. They didn't have Markelle Fultz. They didn't have Aaron Gordon. So
That's so bad.
they don't have Jonathan Isaac. So and y'all supposed to be hyped about that. And it took a buzzer beater 3 to beat the Toronto Raptors with no Pascal Siakam, no Fred VanVleet. Their coach wasn't even there. And
that was a miracle. Tony Snell hit that. That will never happen again. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a hater, but that's a bad basketball player right there.
Like, he's a good defender and can hit a shot when he's wide open.
Then my man played like 21 minutes and literally have 0 across the board.
Yeah, he was running laps. I understand that. He got his cardio, but he can hit that shot if he's wide open, and that's exactly what he was.
He was wide open. I think it's because no one respected him. That's why he was wide open.
He was so open. And mind you, what's crazy is Gallinari could shot that 3 too. He was also pretty open.
Mm-hmm.
But and the fans, I'm just gonna say, calm down. You still made the wrong decision firing Lloyd Pierce.
Yeah, I'm still on that. The record is misleading. Now, me and Alex, the reason why it kind of seems like we push on this team is because we had high expectations for this team. Before the season started, I believe we had a roundtable.
Yes.
And we both had the Atlanta Hawks as a guaranteed playoff spot. We really felt confident about that with all their new pickups and, high expectations with Trae Young. By the way, this is how disappointing this team is. Lonzo Ball has hit more threes than Trae Young. What is going on with this team?
Yeah, we give Lonzo Ball hell, but at the end of the day, it's like he's making more threes than Trae Young.
Trae Young. That is alarming. What is going on? I like this team. I watched this team a lot last year, and I like the way they play. I like John Collins. Cam Reddish pisses me off because he's so inconsistent. Because I like him too. I like all the players in this team.
Like John Collins is one of my favorite young players in the league. I love John Collins. Trae Young has the talent to be a top 5 point guard in this league if y'all don't consider him already. I personally don't, but depends on the masses on that one.
Right.
And DeAndre Hunter, who's been injured for most of the season, he's good.
He is good.
He's really good.
He is good.
Cam Reddish, one of the most inconsistent players, but when he's on, he's on.
This team is too talented. You hear all these players were named. This team is too talented. This team should be with a breeze, man. They should be killing people.
They should be players with the breeze, yet they're barely out the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to be a playing team. I can see it. I don't really see this team catching fire. Their problem is going to exist. Again, this record is very misleading. They haven't had an impressive win.
They haven't. And they play Sacramento tomorrow. I would not be surprised if Sacramento takes them out tomorrow.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
They're fully healthy. Tyrese Halliburton is there. De'Aaron Fox, they're fully healthy. So when they're fully healthy, they're bad, but they're not that bad.
Yeah, they're kind of like they could catch you on a good night.
They're a trap team.
They're a trap team for sure.
But all fans, pump the brakes. Y'all still are what y'all are. And honestly, this was a failed season. Unless if y'all get hot and shut me up, then go right ahead.
That would be nice because I like the team, so I would love to see that team success. I'd love to see it.
I like the team too. Like I have no hate towards y'all,
and I love Trae Young. I am a big fan of Trae Young, so I would love it. Show us, prove us wrong.
Exactly,
prove us wrong.
If I prove us wrong, good,
very good. I would love to see it,
and I will eat my crow live on the show.
Same here.
But
that'll be all, guys. Today was a great session. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, iHeartRadio. Also, follow our baseball page. Follow our NFL page.
We're not the only one who make good stuff here, guys.
Yeah, we got a whole squad. We got a whole crew, okay? This is the Sports Dynasty. And as always, this is your podcast. You want to comment? Hit us up. And maybe we could set something up and we could talk. Hey, I love the heat. I love hearing everyone's thoughts. I love debating. I love this. This is what I do. This is what we do.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And y'all have a voice in this podcast. So whenever you want to say something, want to express your thoughts, we'll listen. And we'll even talk about it here.
Heck yeah. Well, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.